What is going on, guys? Hunter Moody's here, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite champions in League of Legends. If you've clicked on the video, that means you've already seen the title to the video as well as the thumbnail, so you already know who we're talking about, but we are going to be talking about how to play Jinx. Now, there are two reasons as to why Jinx is one of my all-time favorite champions. Number one, she is such an easy champion for people to pick up, to learn or even relearn ADC, or even just practice on getting their farming better because she is such a farm heavy champion. Number two, not only is she good if you're trying to learn ADC or relearn ADC, but she is a really good champion that you can really hone your skills and master, because while she is very simple, she also does bring a lot to the table, which is why you see so many people playing her. She's really simple, yet with the proper skill set and with a lot of practice, you can easily use her to carry to your desired rank. And I know all of you can hit that desired rank with any champion, but Jinx is just a little easier to do so once you kind of get the hang of how to play her. So with that said, let's jump into her abilities. Now her passive is going to be called Get Excited. This is really simple. Anytime you get a kill on an enemy champion, or you take down an inhib or a tower or something like that, she gets a big burst of movement speed and attack speed. So even if you don't get the kill and you just get the assist, she still does get that passive as long as it's within a short duration. And as I said before, this carries over to champions, inhibitors, even things like Baron or Dragon. She gets this sort of burst. Now this is commonly used if if you get a kill and you can chase someone down. This is why Jinx is such a hard carry when it comes to late game, because she can get that one kill and she can, use that movement speed and that attack speed buff to really snowball things and keep things going for that team fight. So her Q is going to be called Switcheroo. Now this, again, super simple. It switches between her rockets and her Gatling gun. So whenever you press Q, it will switch to the opposite gun from which she is holding now. Now, keep in mind that her Gatling gun does have a faster fire rate than the rockets do, but her rockets do have AoE damage per every shot. So if the enemy champion is sitting in the middle of some minions and you shoot at the minions instead of them, they will still take some damage, not the full brunt of it, but they will still take some sort of damage. Also do keep in mind that it does cost mana with every shot. So me personally, I really like to use my rockets if I'm trying to get a poke, get some poke on somebody. But if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're trying to 1v1 or you're trying to, kite as best as you can, please use your Gatling gun. With the faster fire rate, you can maybe get some lifesteal into your build and you'll actually be able to survive longer, pump out more damage because it does have that faster fire rate, but we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. So that's going to be her Q, switching between rocket and Gatling gun. Now let's look at her W. This is going to be Zap. Simple as that. It's just a little pistol that she pulls out and fires in a straight line, and anything that it hits, whether that be a minion or a champion, it does a little bit of damage to them as well as slow them and revealing them. So if you aim it into a bush and shoot and you hit something, whether it be a minion or a champion, it will slow them as well as reveal them, so you'll know that they are there. But it is kind of a slower ability to use, so it is really easy to dodge to someone that is watching for it. So keep that in mind as well. Now her E is going to be called Flame Chompers. Again, really simple. All of Jinx is super simple, and that's why I love her. Now she's going to throw out a line of 3 grenades to wherever the mouse indicator is at the time. Now these will explode after 5 seconds, dealing a little bit of damage to champions that are near them or walk over them in that short duration. Champions that walk into them will be rooted in place if they walk over them, as well as hit with that burn damage. So just keep that in mind, that they are rooted so they still can attack. Now her ultimate is going to be Super Mega Death Rocket. Now this is probably the hardest part about Jinx's kit specifically. If you have played League of Legends within the last 24 hours, I'm sure that you know what Super Mega Death Rocket is. Now it's a global ultimate that she can fire in any location, so just aim on the map with your cursor and hit the R button and it will fly that direction. Now keep in mind that it does do % health damage, so lower health enemies will take more damage. If you shoot it at somebody that's got full health, it's not going to do a lick of damage to that champion. So just, it's kind of an execute that you can use. You can shoot it across the map and go for, snipes in top lane to get that kill and stun on people a little bit more, but it just comes with practice It's really easy to miss because it is really easy to dodge. So don't be frustrated if you're not landing anything. It does take a little bit, and sometimes you just aren't as lucky, and sometimes people just know to watch out for it. So now with her abilities explained a little better, let's look at exactly what items and what runes you're going to want to run. Now, again, I say this every video, but if you've watched my videos, I don't like to tell you exactly what items or which runes to run because it may differ depending on your team comp or what the enemy team is running, but I will give you kind of my suggestions to kind of like a baseline to help get you started. Now, in this current patch, I prefer to run Lethal Tempo as my main tree, and then from there you can kind of decide where you want to go. And just because Jinx doesn't have any sort of escape, I like to run Time Warp Tonic as well as Biscuit Delivery, just because it gives her a little bit of that extra sustain, and nothing else really ties into her kit as well. And if you've watched my Callista guide, you know that I am more of a passive ADC player, so I like to be as sustained as possible and just farm as much as I can. Items are going to be really important for Jinx because she is such a late game carry. If you are learning to play Jinx, or you're trying to relearn, you've just got to keep telling yourself and keep reminding yourself that she is not an early game carry. She's really easy to shut down in the early game, and if you are playing Jinx and you don't get ahead early or stay even with the enemy, it's really hard for you to come back. As Jinx, you're looking for those early picks to kind of get you snowballing and get you 1 foot ahead of the enemy, and that's really where Jinx starts to shine. When she can get her items before everybody else, that's when she really starts to push out the damage. So item wise, you're going to want things crit focused. One thing that you are going to want 100% of the time is going to be Runin's Hurricane. Now that is with your rockets. Keep in mind that with Runin's, it shoots out 2 darts that do a little bit of damage every auto attack. So if you switch to your rockets, it actually shoots 2 rockets out. Keep in mind they are AoE, so now you're getting that extra AoE damage. You're getting a bigger radius on that AoE damage. Her rockets do offer a little bit of extra range over her Gatling gun. That is something I forgot to mention. So if you run something like an Infinity Edge with Runin's Hurricane and a rapid fire cannon, you can just poke people down relentlessly, and it does a lot of damage once you get that crit up there. So from that point on, it's kind of whatever you want to choose, but crit is really where Jinx shines. So if she can get up to that, that 100% crit or that 80% crit mark, she really does start to shine. Let's move on to exactly how you're going to want to play her. Now, I've touched on a lot of it already, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. She is really easy to target at the beginning of the game, so just play passively. She doesn't have any engage, other than her chompers or her slow, which aren't really an engage, they're more of a deterrent. As well, she doesn't have an escape, so if you find yourself pushed up too far too often, you're just going to become a feeding ground for the jungler, the mid lane, and even the top laner. So you're going to want to be really careful, and if you have the option, make sure to choose a support that can really lock someone down. Someone sort of similar to Blitzcrank or Thresh or Leona. They all work really well with her as long as they offer some sort of CC to keep them at bay and away from Jinx. As you're playing in the later game, if you've got that rapid fire cannon, poking down is going to be essential. She will do a lot of damage. You just have to kind of poke people down as much as you can. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but that's where Jinx shines. She has a huge range when you get to the later stages of the game with your rockets. So just being able to poke and poke, you'll find yourself getting kill after kill once your team starts to capitalize on what you're doing. So if you find yourself poking a lot and they're starting to get low health, your team can then engage. All you have to do is sit in the back and spray your rockets. Now, my last little bit before I end this video is please be sure to use your Gatling gun if you find yourself in a situation where you're needing to kite or 1v1 duel or 2v2 duel. Your rockets are great damage, but they are not for direct damage. Your Gatling gun is going to be the best source of damage that you will come across. And I'm sure that you've seen me switch between these, these rockets and these Gatling guns many times in the video that in the background as you're watching. So just kind of watch how I determine when to use my rockets and when to use my Gatling guns. So I hope that you guys do enjoy this video. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below as well as a comment. Let me know what you think of Jinx. Tell me some crazy pentas that you've got with her because she is the penta queen. And if you guys wouldn't mind, also do hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys enjoy the videos I make and the content I create. Now, with that being said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and thank you for joining the Stone Army.